Welcome back to the Talking with Taylor podcast, where I'm your host, Taylor, where we talk with anyone about anything, and hopefully everyone around the table will listen. I really want to update everyone really quick before we bring our next guest on. Our last guest was Caroline Stark, and she is going to be a part of the world race, and she's raising money for that. Just a reminder, everyone that purchases a copy of Kingdom Leader off Amazon from now until May, $1 of every book will go towards her trip. So make sure you check that out. You can order it if you order it today or tomorrow. It will be there before Christmas, but it just depends on when you're listening to this podcast. And the podcast is live on December 15th, so make sure you check that out. Help Caroline out. We've sold 10 copies since her interview, so $10 will go towards her trip. So make sure you're following that. Also, make sure you're subscribing. And if you're watching today's podcast, and I know you're going to want to really dive into this one, copy it and share it with a friend. And so today's guest is a very, very special guest. We go all the way back to 2010, I think. Is that right, Kenneth?
Yeah, that's right.
2000,
2010.
yeah, 2010, Kenneth Wilder and Maverick Wilder. We got Maverick on here as well. And so I think Maverick may steal the show today, but Kenneth was my group leader at an event called Student Leadership University, SLU 201 in Washington, D.C. And so, Kenneth, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Just enjoying life, enjoying being a dad,
Yeah.
and living life to the fullest. Can't complain.
Absolutely. And you are we're going to dive into a multitude of topics today. And the first one is obviously we're going to dive into SLU, but before we dive into SLU, you're also a realtor. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So how has your year been as a realtor in the crazy year we call 2020?
It's been interesting. I started 2020 with lots of goals and
Yep.
aspirations, just to be my best year yet. And then March comes around and everything gets shut down. So kind of had to revamp a little bit. But surprisingly enough, I think because people have been stuck in the house with everyone, they're realizing that they want to buy houses. So it's turned out to be one of the best years yet.
Hey, that's kind of what I've heard all around the real estate market. And as I'm talking to the king of real estate in Orlando right now, right? So I gotta in Florida, I've got to make sure that we do a plug for you. And so how can people get in touch with you if they are interested in the Florida market to use you as a realtor?
So if you're interested, you can go to our website is kriegengroup.com,
Okay.
or feel free to drop me a message there, or you can give me a call at 407-952-0989, and I'll be happy to help you with all your real estate needs in Central Florida.
That will be incredible. And Maverick is all about it too. And so we that will be great. And what we'll do is we'll put all that information in the description so people can reach out to you. That would be incredible. And um, so as we talked about, you are my group leader at SLU. You still do a good bit of work with them. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with SLU. And for those that don't know what SLU is, just give a little description about what it is and what you do and why you have a passion for that organization.
Yeah, so I first got involved with SLU back in 2005 as a sophomore in college. I went and served as an intern. And for those of you who don't know, SLU is a leadership program for middle and high school students that teaches students the rules and tools of leadership. The goal is to give students a 10-year quantum leap. And so, ever since I've been a part of the organization back in college, it's just kind of been near and dear to my heart. Dr. Brent Crow and Dr. Jay Strack and Nikki, who leads the team over there, are some of the most incredible people. I made some very lifelong friendships. That's where I met Taylor.
Yep.
He's one of a kind. Roll Tide, have to throw that in there.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and so it's been a really awesome opportunity to not only learn the rules and tools of leadership and see how it's impacted students over the years, but also the opportunity to visit some incredible places. As a student, they have the opportunity to go behind the scenes in the U.S. capital and things like that. And so it's just an awesome opportunity for students to get that quantum leap that they so that way when they're done with high school that they have the edge on their other fellow people.
Absolutely. And I went to, like you said, I met you at 201 as my leader, my group leader, and my dad was there, and we had a couple of their students with us. And it's crazy how, we've still stay connected through all of that. 10 years is insane. And, but man, I'm thankful for leaders like you. Like you said, you make lifelong friendships and you meet lifelong leaders that pour into one another. And it's just a great friendship that we have. And one of the things Dr. J says is you'll be the same person you are today, except for the people you meet, the places you go, and the books you read, and the scripture you memorize. And the people you meet, obviously, we've met each other, and you met so many other leaders as well. But also, one of the things that he says is the places you go. And you said you get to go behind the scenes, and that's, man, that's a great thing that you do. But you've taken that to a whole nother level, and you have probably been to more countries than most people have been cities in the states. And so, tell us about your world traveling endeavors.
So, officially to count, I was talking to Taylor before we started. I think I've been to right at around 56 countries right now.
Wow.
I love to travel. My passion for travel first started when I was in high school, and I took my first trip to New York City with my high school course,
Yeah.
and the fact of just being able to go to a different place and experiencing something, I was like, I want to take this to a whole nother level. So my first trip that I went to was actually my freshman year of college. I went to Togo, West Africa,
Wow.
and served with the medical mission team there, and it changed my world. And I was like, I don't want to stop here.
Right.
So initially, my goal was to visit all of the countries by the time I was 30. Well, I didn't hit that goal.
That's okay.
Life happens and family. I have a 7-month old, a 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Yep.
So life gets pretty busy.
That's right.
But I decided to, take my love for travel, my love for medical missions, and just visit as many places as I could and explore culture and food. Food is my big passion, so just explore as much as I can. So that's taken me to some pretty amazing places.
And so, you know, as you've traveled to all these places, what was your favorite country, and what was your least favorite country to travel to?
Taylor, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Sorry, tough question. My bad.
Tough question. I would have to say my favorite country by far is Thailand.
Okay.
I just love the food. I love the culture. I love the ability. The beaches they have is just some amazing, uh, just people all around. I went with two of my really good friends from college, and we went to Thailand probably about 2 years ago now, and it was just one of the amazing trips. And one thing most people will find out about me is I don't really, as much as I like to travel, I really don't like airports. So I
Mhm.
always show up to the airport 20 minutes before it's time for me to board, unless it's international flight. I'll get there 45 minutes.
Wow.
Um, and whenever we go to countries, I don't plan. It's just I don't have an itinerary. It's just kind of like I know there are certain things that I want to do, but besides that, I really don't plan because going into another country, you have to expect the unexpected.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where um, it's fun. So Thailand's my favorite. The least favorite, I would have to say, is Kazakhstan. And if
Okay.
I have to say, give a reason, Kazakhstan is very nice. I just don't do cold weather, and
Mm.
it was freezing, like
Yes.
the coldest I've ever been. And so it was just a real interesting experience to be there.
Man, I agree. I would much rather be on a beach than in the Smoky Mountains or wherever, just soaking up the sun. And you mentioned when you travel, you don't have an itinerary, and I love that. I love that. You just kind of let it, or I think that's the way to go for sure. And you let the culture and you let the country kind of guide you along your travels, and be really kind of get to be a part of that culture for a little while. And so that's interesting that you said Thailand. A lot of people that I talked to that traveled, they haven't traveled as much as you. They all say they love Thailand, and so that may have to be a bucket list for me one day. I'd love to go check it out. Um, but man, that's incredible. Just an all around guy, loves the Lord, first and foremost, and and you're a successful businessman. You're a world traveler, and you still stay connected with SLU. It's just incredible. And so, Kenneth, I'm so thankful that I met you 10 years ago in Washington D.C., our nation's capital. And man, just it's great to stay in touch, and hopefully we'll get to see each other soon, and hopefully this pandemic will we'll be on the other side of that. But before we go, is there anything that you and Maverick would like to leave our listeners?
I think Maverick's done enough talking for today. No, I'd just like to say thanks for having me on. Definitely been a pleasure getting to know you over these past 10 years. I mean, I've watched you go from high school student, play football in college, and now you're married and about to start your own family here soon. So it's just been great to see how the Lord works in your life. And I can't wait to see how he continues to move and work in you and your wife's life.
Man, Kenneth, thank you so much, my friend, and can't wait to see you soon. And everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Talking with Taylor podcast. We're going to have Kenneth. If you want to reach out to him about real estate, we're going to have that in the description. Give him a shout. Like you said, he wanted 2020 to be the best year, and it was. It was crazy, and it was. And so you can make 2021 your best year yet. Looking for a home, reach out to him. And guys, thank you so much for listening to the Talking with Taylor podcast.